Good morning. Now, I don't know whether some of you will be watching this a little bit before Sunday so that you can prepare for our service, or whether you're watching this on Sunday morning, but either way, it is absolutely lovely to be recording this for you so that we can all join in and be part of our Sunday morning service. So our gospel, which Eleanor has recorded this week and you'll see in a moment, talks about Jesus asking a lot of questions of his disciples. Now I'm looking in the gospel book that we have in church. Now you might see this sometimes because I will be very soon ordained a deacon, which is sort of the one step before a priest. The deacon's job is to share the gospel. And you will often see me, if you ever watch the videos or if you're in church on a Sunday morning, I'll be carrying this gospel book and I will read from it most Sundays. And you'll see other people who do it in our church as well, and you might have seen them before. And then they will read from this special gospel book, which has all of the weeks and what needs to be read at what time. So I'm using this today to make sure that I've got the right reading. Now, in the gospel, we hear Jesus asking his disciples questions. He asks them, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And obviously Jesus means himself by the Son of Man. But the disciples explain that actually some people are a bit confused, and they say, some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, some say Jeremiah or another prophet. So then Jesus asks the disciples, "Well, who do you say that I am?" And Simon Peter, one of the disciples, says to Jesus, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." So Simon Peter knows the answer to this question. He knows that Jesus is the Messiah. He's the Son of God. He's somebody incredibly special and incredibly important. And Simon Peter's able to answer that. So Jesus replies to him and says, "Blessed are you, Simon." He's so pleased that Peter knows the answer to this question, that he knows who he is. And because of this, Jesus says to Peter, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church." Now that sounds very strange. Peter's not actually a rock, obviously, and it is a bit odd. But what he means by that is Peter is sent out to tell everybody about God, about Jesus Christ, and that the church will grow from that. And all of the other disciples as well are called to go out and share the good news of Jesus with everybody so that the church will build and grow and grow. And when it says, "I will build the church on you," he doesn't really mean I will build a physical church, a building like this building that I'm in now. You might notice I've decided to sit in the children's corner today to record this. And it doesn't mean, on this rock, on you this rock, I will build bricks and cement and everything else that goes into making a church, making a building. What he means is, I will build the church, the people, the community. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because church buildings are very important, I think. I love to be in the church building. It's very special to me. And I think I'm able to focus and really concentrate when I'm in the church building. And I find it peaceful, but I also find it joyful. So church buildings are important, but also church communities, people, the church, as in myself and Eleanor and you and all of the people that are here on a Sunday morning, all of the people that can't be here on a Sunday morning, people all over the world who are worshipping. We are the church. And when Jesus says to Peter, "You are the rock that I'm going to build this church on," that's just what he means. But what we're going to do today is we're going to think about this in physical terms. I'm going to have to move my camera down, I think. So apologies. Now this might look a bit strange because I've got some Uno cards. Now, I'm not going to play Uno in church on my own. I think that's a bit strange, isn't it? What I am going to do, and what I hope that you'll be able to do, is we are going to try and build a church. On this rock, I will build my church. Now, I'm going to use cards to build my church, so I've got some Uno cards, but I'm a bit worried because they're a bit thin. So this might just completely collapse, which if it does, then at least it'll be funny if it does completely collapse. I'm just not sure that that's the best angle, but hold on. So I am going to build my church, and this is my rock. This table is my rock, my Peter. Now, what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see, in fact, I'm going to move that down even more. Okay, so I just had to move my camera. So by the magic of technology, I'm going to cut out the bit where it all sort of, I faffed about a bit. So, what I'm doing, if I get you in the right shot, is building little triangles by propping the two cards together. And I've got quite a lot, so theoretically, I could end up building quite a giant structure. But because I'm not convinced, oh, see, look, straight away we've had a little bit of a collapse. So I could have cheated and put a little bit of sticky tape on or something, but I thought I'd best be honest. When I've built my little triangles, I'm then going to put a card across the top there. So I think what I'll try and do is do another one this side. Come on. I don't breathe in case I blow it down. So I'll be holding my breath. Okay. I'll put another card on there. And then what we'll do is on top of those flat cards, we will put some more triangles so that we can build a church, build a structure. Oh, okay, I really don't breathe now. Oh, heck. Oh, I think it's gonna go. Oh no. Oh. There we are. So I've managed, I mean, mine's not very big actually, but I have actually managed to make a building. Now what I suggest, guys, if you've got a pack of cards, try and do it so that there are many, many more triangles on the bottom, if you see, so that you can make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and see how big you can make your church built on a rock. And now, if it falls down, which I'm actually really surprised mine hasn't, so I'm a bit thrilled. If it falls down, that's absolutely fine. Like this, that's going to go, I think. Because building the church, with the disciples building the church together, with Peter being the rock that the church was built on, actually, there was many times when that was difficult as well. Many times when people didn't want the church to be built. They didn't believe what they were told about Jesus. Look at that. I think that was a sign. When I said they didn't believe what they were told about Jesus, my little church, my building, my structure collapsed. So I'm just going to take the camera again so you can just see my face. So again, by the magic of editing, I managed to get the camera back up. So, if you've got some playing cards, or maybe you've got something else, like you might have, do you know, I can't find like lollipop sticks for the life of me, because I was going to try and make a structure out of lollipop sticks, but I just couldn't get any anywhere. So maybe you've got some. If you've got a craft box, or you've got some, maybe because it's summer, you've got some leftover lolly sticks from lollies we might have been eating. Try and build your structure. Try and build your church. See how high you can get it. See how long it can last before it collapses, a little bit like mine did. And then maybe see if you can put some people in there. If you have little Lego figures or something, you might be able to balance them on your church that you've built. And while you're doing that, you can remember how Jesus said to Peter, "You are my rock, and on you I will build my church." So maybe you might even want to give yourself an extra challenge. And if you've got maybe a big stone or a rock in your garden or something, or maybe you could find one on a walk, you could try and build it on that and see how much more difficult that is. And while we're doing that, we just think about what the church means, whether it's the brick building, whether it's the community, whether it's a little bit of all of that. And think about how, wherever we are this morning, we are the church, all of us together. And that's something really special that Jesus built with the help of Peter and the disciples, so that today, so many years later, we are still together and still part of a very special church. And I mean the big church, the wider church, the church that's all over the world. But I also mean this church, St. Andrew's. So give it a go. See if you can manage to build a slightly more successful building than I did. Mine did slightly collapse. I think maybe if you've got thicker cards, or you could maybe put two together so that they would maybe balance a bit better. But see how big, how high, how tall, how wide you can build your church. And if you manage it, I would love to see some photos. I really would. So if you manage to build a great creation, because you might use Lego bricks, or you might use Duplo, or whatever you have, but I would love to see them. So do send them in if you've got them. And so now we will watch the gospel that Eleanor has kindly recorded for us.
Hear the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. Now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And they said, "Some say John the Baptist, but others say Elijah, and still others say Jeremiah or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Then he sternly ordered the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. This is the gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ.